Good morning once again, Bios Nigeria. Welcome to another eye-opening edition of Let's Talk Nigeria, your number one platform for in-depth conversations on national issues right here on Golding 97.5 FM Yenagua. I am Moye Steving.
And I am Paul Oblomugbasa.
As always, we are here to engage, inform, and challenge the status quo, because a nation that refuses to ask questions is a nation that will remain stuck. Today, we take a long, hard look at a deeply troubling development in Nigeria. You know what I'm talking about. It's the Nigeria's education sector. The 33.8% drop in performance recorded in the recently released results of the May-June 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination, otherwise known as the WASC.
Okay, according to the WAEC, that is West African Examination Council's, this year's pass rate defined as candidates obtaining 5 credits, including mathematics and English, plummeted by nearly 34% compared to 2024. That's not just a statistical dip, it is a national alarm bell ringing loudly across classrooms, living rooms, ministries, and exam halls across the nation. So, what's going on? Are we witnessing the collapse of academic standards? Are students simply no longer interested or motivated? Could it be the aftershock of infrastructural decay, underqualified teachers, or poor curriculum content? Not forgetting instructional materials too as well. Or is this a reflection of deeper social issues such as poverty, insecurity, and digital distraction?
So to help us unpack the data and dig into the root causes, we are joined this morning by Mr. Chinwike Victus Ona, a respected educationist and a school principal who has worked in the Nigerian education sector for over a decade. Today, we'll examine the hard truths behind the numbers, the hidden factors that may have influenced this shocking decline, and what urgent steps must be taken to prevent a total collapse of secondary education in Nigeria. Our schools are supposed to be the springboard for national development, but with numbers like this, we must ask, are we preparing our youth for the future or failing them completely? Let's say, thank you so much for joining us on the program, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
So stay tuned, calling when the time is right, and share your thoughts. Let's dig deep. After all, this is Let's Talk Nigeria, and the future is on the line. All right, so let's start a conversation now. What exactly, Mr. Rona? What exactly does the 33.8% drop in the exam performance indicate? How significant this decline? How is it when compared to the previous year?
It's okay. Thank you very much, and good morning, all.
Good morning.
Looking at the statistics from 2020 to date, you could see that in 2020 we had a 65.24%, and then in 2021 it was 81.7%. In 2022 it was 76.36%, and in 2023 79.81%. Then last year, 2024, we had 72.12%. And then, having been in the field all this while, at least as an examiner, as a teacher, and a supervisor, using our school as a case study, we have been doing above all these percentage performances, national percentage performances. But looking at present result, the one that was brilliant ones among them, by rights, would have been expecting A1 or B2 as their grade in English language, but you keep having them C6, 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 all cutting across them. So that thing gave me concern, and that made me to check for more students, and you can see that the spread is the same, So what actually brought down the average performance nationwide is English language. And of course, we are aware of what happened on the day they wrote the exam. The exam was written on 28th of May, Wednesday, 28th of May. And that exam was scheduled to start by 9 a.m., but it started by 7:30 p.m. Yes. And I was there as the chief examiner of my school. So around 10, we didn't see the supervisors. 11 a.m., we didn't see the supervisors. We kept communicating to WAEC, and they gave us assurance that the exam will be written, but there will be a delay. And the delay continued till 2 p.m. By right, at that time, they should have been entering for their last paper, which is objective questions. They should have been done with theory in the morning. But even at 2 p.m., they've not been able to, they've not started. Till 5 p.m., they've not started. 6 p.m., they've not started. So at that point in time, the children were weak, And whatever we experienced in our school was the experience nationwide, And lucky enough, our school had or has infrastructure that could provide a lighting system for the children. But I'm sure there are schools that didn't have such facility. So when it was around 6 p.m., we had to on our generator. And then the children were there waiting. Fortunately enough, by 7:30 p.m., around 7:30 p.m., they started the exam. So if you look at that English language was actually what brought down the average performance. The results in overall performances, if you check subject by subject, according to the number of subjects registered by the children and their grade levels, actually it was a good result. And so WAEC, I think, should look at what happened in English.
But you see, you spoke as someone from the field.
Yes.
You were with the children. Yes. But WAEC here is saying Dr. Amos Dangut, the head of Nigeria National Office, attributed the drop in performance. One can naturally agree with you that could have affected the children somehow. So even the best would have been tired, mentally drained, and then the performance level will have dropped. But now they are not thinking that could have been the issue. They are saying that the drop is attributed to the serialization of the objective test papers. What does it mean by that?
Okay, what it means is this. Two students, you are seated in the same exam hall, examination hall, and questions are numbered from 1 to 50, But you will see that perhaps your number one question, the answer to your number one question will not be answered to my number one question. So there will be no room for sharing of information between two of us. That's exactly what they meant by serialization of the exam questions. But I want to tell you that even in other subjects areas where that serialization was done, the children did very well. Where the children did not do very well is in English language, and it's not just peculiar to a particular school. You understand?
So with this thing, it's like this was happened nationwide.
Yes.
Okay, but with this kind of thing, so what? It meant that it was the flaw of the logistics from WAEC.
Good.
Let's address that.
Good. You see, there are things that we need to talk more about.
Yes, please.
But it may not be in this station. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Actually, the cost of running business in Nigeria is affecting so many things.
Okay.
Because for that paper to have been delayed for that long, indicates that there was logistic problem. Because there was a time I called, and they told me that the papers that will be written in Bayelsa were coming from Port Harcourt. Do you understand? Ordinarily, if it were acquaintance, we are okay. They can actually charter flights or use a chopper and bring those things down quickly. But the cost of running business in Nigeria is now very high, that even WAEC is trying to be very careful in the expenditure. This kind of incidents would have happened in 2020 after the lockdown and all that, because I remember that time the mathematical set that was produced in India couldn't be cleared early. So the children were not even given that mathematical set to write the exams that year. you know, because of our instability in what? Exchange rates. So they couldn't bear the cost, the landing cost, you know. And then looking at this, WAEC had also charged early by October last year. The charge for these exams had already taken place. And if you look at what has happened in our economy between last year and now, is unpredictable. So WAEC, it can't be serialization that caused this. It cannot be. Because even in other subject areas where serialization was done, the children did very excellently well. You know, excellently well in areas like economics, biology, you know. And this English language as a school, I know the capacity of our students. They are good in writing. When I mean they are good, you know. And so also other schools, other students. In short, I must tell us that children of these days are actually very, very intelligent, you know, and smart. I can say they are smarter than us because they are multi-talented. Even with the ICT gadgets with them and the other areas, they can venture into different areas and still stand academically, which we didn't have such kind of distractions during our days, you know. So, what WAEC must look at that, you know, that actually contributed, the delay actually contributed. And I must also, maybe also, because of that delay and the uproar after the exams, the investigation that went in, let me assume also, it may not be correct, right, that the marking scheme was also high thereafter, you know. But what brought down this is actually this English language, because they are talking about 5 credits, including English and mathematics, and going across the subject areas and their grade levels, right? Among the students who have checked their results, is actually English language where you are having children not having many credits. You understand? So not mathematics, not other subject areas.
Okay, so let's talk about this significant milestone. INEC claimed it.
WAEC.
Oh, sorry, I don't. Why INEC? WAEC claimed it. Achieved. You know, they said this year's exam also marked a significant milestone as WAEC allowed candidates to choose between the traditional paper and pencil format and a computer-based test (CBT) option, part of the council's move towards full digitization by 2026. Do you think this also, one way or the other, affected the performance?
Okay. I would conservatively say yes. I'm using the word conservatively because if you come to Bayelsa as a case study, what is the number of people that use CBT? The population. You know, when we are dishing out this kind of declaration, it is good to come out with statistics. We should be able to know the number of people that sat for the exam using CBT and those that sat for the exam using paper and pen. And we should also be able to establish between these two categories which of them did better than the other. Because if we just dish out announcement, you know, without proper data backing it up, it will not help us in policy formulation and implementation. And it will not be able to help us for peer review mechanism that we need concerning these results. Because as it stands now, I am very confident that our children did very well. You know, but what about the parents? What about the Ministry of Education? What about even countries outside other countries of the world? Because they may see that Nigerian education system is not working, but it's not really true. This result does not really reflect the true nature of our education system. It does not in any way reflect it. You know, because of this, I would say that it's a significant milestone because maybe it's a test run, you know, but they should be able to come out and tell people this. What now between these two categories? Where did we have a better result? You know, and other benefits of having CBT in terms of logistics, in terms of ability to conduct the exam with ease, you know, collation. marking, collation, and other things, so that people will be able to know exactly the benefit thereof. Then, like next year now, it's almost becoming a national policy, but this is not why we are here today. So I may not really say much about it. For me, I would prefer it because it will put the children on their toes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that children will not be too much interested in certificate but knowledge. Yes. For me, it's a significant, is a very good innovation as regards to standardization of our examination in Nigeria, especially WAEC. Because if we lose the integrity of WAEC certificates, then I don't know where we are going. Because that is the only examination that is highly standardized, that is highly recognized, in short, well recognized all over the world. And so, you see, our children are very smart. Like what happened this year is going to affect so many children in obtaining scholarships, because there are scholarships that are based on 9 A's, or all your subjects must be A1. But with what we have here, not many students will be able to make it that way. So when we look at this, we should be able to know the impact also.
Sir, this thing you just mentioned, because it is not just for Nigeria, because it's the West African
Yes.
Examination Council. That means because people are sitting for the exam all across the West African countries.
Yes.
And we've seen this now that we have this thing happen. What do you think? Because I know that for JAMB entered into the CBT dimension at least. But do you also think that this will be like a dress rehearsals for these people to really help them ahead of the JAMB and the post-UME that are going to be writing, preparing them? How prepared also do you think that that Bayelsa? Let's bring it home to Bayelsa. You're in Yenegua, the schools in Yenegua and everything, but those that are in the villages and other things, how prepared are they for the CBT? Do you think we have the weight and the ability to really carry these people through this process?
It's okay. Thank you very much. We are not prepared. I must be very blunt at this particular juncture. Very few schools are prepared for this CBT in Bayelsa State. First of all, let our community know, or the listeners know, that Bayelsans are very brilliant people. There are many geniuses around us. I've been in the education system for many years. And there was never a year or a session, academic session, where you will not see a number of geniuses in our school. And we have more than 200 and something secondary schools in the state. And like I do tell them, every school has extraordinary students. What matters is how are they being harnessed. You understand? So our school is not a monopoly of those class of children, They are in every school, both private and public. But then, when it comes to learning environment, it's what matters. People see what transpired. Yes. If you carry out a mock test, it should be displayed so that people will be able to see that this is what transpires during the mock test. Then they will be able to know, what and what they need to get prepared for the main test, And if we are to transit to CBT, it is going to curb malpractice to a very high level, right? But the challenge we are going to have is issue of manpower and infrastructure. Like for the government schools, all right, and some private schools, they may not be able to afford it, because the onus will be on the government to ensure that every school will have a standard ICT lab, and that should be not less than 100 and at least 100 systems should be there, at least 100 in every school. Or if the government can decide to do it as a multi-purpose exam hall, where now every child will now come there and sit down, and then you log in your details and you write, But I'm not sure this preparation is already on ground, because we are talking about by April next year, these exams must have started. Though it's becoming a national policy of education, but the governments are not doing as if they are involved in formulation of this policy, Because if they are doing, because this thing must be coming from Ministry of Education from state and the national level,
Yeah.
which means the commissioners of education and Minister of Education there, they are involved in policy formulation. And then they should have been able to inform the state government about these things. And there should be something on ground going on. Like we can have various centers where the state government is now going to build multiple examination hall and equip them. But then that also has to do with the statistics. We should be able to know how many students registered WAEC last year in Bayelsa, 2 years ago, and how many registered WAEC this year, and make projection of population increase, because whether we like it or not, population of Bayelsa in the next 10 years is going to double because the economy of Bayelsa is going to improve. It's not going to be stagnant like this, So if you look at that, then what are we doing to mitigate the increase in number? So I must tell you that as present Bayelsans and other states, not only Bayelsans, I do not even know of any state that is prepared. It is very few private schools that are prepared for this. Very few private schools.
Because if it's going to be a national policy next year,
Yep.
wow. And if you go out there now, even the government, the public schools here in Yanagwa, you will discover that there are no not even a computer system, not even one. And these kids are supposed to be making use of this, this facility till that time, not when it is close to the exam. You now start doing what they call a mock exam to test around whether they'll be able to do it. Or are they looking at using the CBT centers meant for JAM? What they're already using, is that what they're looking at? So when you suggested government getting involved and coming up with the facilities or a center where you have multiple computer systems, but then that could only be for people or students in the city. What about those in the rural areas? Are they also going to be coming down to the city when this policy is implemented and computers, let's say the government decides to do that? Or are you going to suggest that government does this in all the local governments or putting these things in all the schools in the communities? Which of them?
Thank you, Mr. Moye. This thing is very simple. Government can do it. It's like I said, the challenge we have in this country is issue of accurate statistics. Else, we would have been able to know the population densities across the 8 local governments in Bayelsa State, and that will determine the distribution of resources. You understand?
Yeah.
That would, because with 10 billion or 20 billion, it's not too much for investment in education. I'm sure the state can cushion the effect of a lack of infrastructure, ICT infrastructure. If the state government spends like 2 billion in this state, in Yenegua, and perhaps 2 billion in other local government areas, that would be about 16 billion.
Yeah.
And a state like Bayelsa should be able to be at the forefront, ensuring that they are ahead of others because they have the resources. So if we are going to transit to the CBT, then the onus should be on the government to ensure that the local government headquarters, all the local government headquarters should be an examination center, and infrastructure should be provided there so that the students can easily access the place. It should be accessible. Within 25-30 minutes movement, they should be able to reach the examination hall.
Yeah.
And in that case now, once that is done, it doesn't really matter where you are coming from because every child has registered with a examination number. Once you log in with the examination number, it will reflect, in the database of WAEC and others, such that publishing of results, there should be no ambiguity.
Yeah.
So these things are not rocket science. It can easily be done. But if only we have interest in the future of our education, in short, in our future, because actually the education is the future. Civilization we are talking about is basically on whatever we are doing now,
The moment you're saying that, just want to quickly just read 2 comments before, and the comment is coming from our Facebook page.
Okay.
Just very quickly. Trina Ayekeme says, a nation that prioritizes sports over its education sector must experience this. Continue to ignore the education sector. That is rather disturbing.
It's very disturbing. Very, very. I am in the field. You know, um, there are many things that our leaders are not doing right. Attention to education is very, very low. Very, very low. Judging from welfare of staff, teachers, some of us who are still teaching, we are not teaching because of money. If it were for money, some of us would have been outside the country, Like as I'm talking to you, even this year, they are still calling me. I should apply and come over to UK, But I don't have interest to travel. That's the truth. You see, I studied physics, and when you look at the development of physics from classical physics to modern physics, there's what we call degenerate states, where you leave a conventional way of theory to a new theory that will explain what is or being observed now. If you look at classical physics developed by Isaac Newton, and then the quantum physics of which the pioneer is Niels Bohr, the theory in quantum physics and classical physics are not the same, because a time came when observations in the lab can no longer be explained by Newton's law of what? Newton's laws, right? Isaac Newton's laws. So there was a need to develop new laws that explain what is happening. I think that is what Nigeria should, our approach to our education. Something like United Arab Emirates, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, all these Arab countries, they are now Qatar, they are now doing such that they are transiting so fast. We must know that digitization is the way to go, not just in education, but in every aspect of our life, even in our economy. The poverty rate we see here is because our economy has not been digitized, such that anybody can invest with any little amount you have. It is very easy to invest in US. You can invest with $50. You can invest with $20. You can invest with $100. But in Nigeria, to invest in corporate companies, you can't, even if you have 1 million naira, you may not be able to invest there. You know why? Because our economy is not yet digitized. That is coming to what we are saying now in education. If the state governments, if they are serious about what they are saying, not just to make pronouncement in Abuja, it's not a lot about making pronouncement. No. What is the work on ground? What is the work on ground to ensure that this thing is facilitated? As I'm talking to you, it is very easy. If they can leave some of the projects they are about to do and focus on this education, knowing that it's now a national dilemma, It's a national dilemma now. It's not something we should ignore. It is not. It is not. Then they we can transit very easily. We can. It does not require too much resources to get these things done.
Wow. So let's open the phone line now. We have really discussed extensively. Remember, we are coming from the percentage drop in the performance in the May-June WAEC, or the Senior School Certificate Examination. And you've heard Mr. Ona speaking. What is your own take? I know there are a lot of teachers who are listening. Parents as well are listening, and even educationists as well, all listening. Those who are concerned about the Nigeria's education are also listening at this moment. So call numbers 0707 747 1522, 0912 000 1975. You can text us on 0805 3277767. What do you think it was the problem? Do you agree with Mr. Ona here, or do you have other things that could have caused the drop in the performance of Nigerian students in the just concluded WAEC? Hello, good morning, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, Comrade Emmanuel from Amarata.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, priority. That is the problem. What is the priority of the Nigerian federal or state government? It is not clear. Is it that you win some sports game and then they give you 150 million? Or you become so good in education, and then you begin to carry papers and suffer on the street. What is the priority? You know, is it agriculture? Is it education? Just like the intelligent man in the house is saying, it's not by sitting around one long table in Abuja and begin to talk, make pronouncements. Let us be clear where we are headed. You know, if you are the president or the governor, let people know that beginning from now, if you do well in education, you will not suffer for more than 4 months to get work. If it is education, if everybody knows that this is 2025 and we need to digitize education, let us make the talk and then walk the talk. Let things be clear so that we will know where we are headed. The noise is too much. Sports is good to this. I mean, look at how they're empowered. If you talk like it's as if maybe because you are not a sports president, that's why you are talking that. But if sport is priority, if it is much more important than education, which without education will go back to 2,000 years, all of us know that. But when we continue to play with our education, I mean, it offends me. Let the priority be clear, to be referred.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I think a lot of people are now aligning with you. So let's take this one. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, can I hear you?
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Parliament, I greet you guys.
We'll greet you too, sir.
I remain Pere, calling from Mereba.
Okay, go ahead, please.
All right, thank you very much. I think the matter on ground, I think like the education is down, just like he rightfully said. It's not about the serialization of the questions or whatever. I think this is a complete systematic failure, logistic failure. And what have you? They don't want to own up in terms of their mistake. They are shifting blame. Naming it realization of question or whatever. Like he rightfully said, once again, students are good. But it was as a result of systematic and logistic failure. I saw students running helter scatter that day. In fact, at the end of the day, I can see somebody coming back by after 10 from an exam. Oh, so shameful. I think we should do better next time. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you, Perry. Thank you, Perry, for your contribution. We will be going for a short break, but then let's take a few calls before we go on that break. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Aibano Simon. I'm back there. I'm calling from Unopa community.
Thanks for joining us, Aibano.
I foresaw these developments many years ago. Many years ago, that something like this will happen. Let me point out some things I noticed. Do you know that many learners have deficiencies in their handwriting and speed writing skills? Many of them are deficient in general and specialized vocabularies. Many of them are deficient in language skills, that's reading, writing, speaking, listening, studies.
We lost it. I know you have something to tell us, but then you probably want to call back. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks.
Felix from Opondo.
Okay, Felix, please go ahead, sir.
Yes, see, the down drop of this WAEC results, honestly, we should not blame it on the children. Honestly, see, WAEC board has turned to an institute of corruption. It is corruption that is causing this. Because they are there making merchandise of this, the public, honestly. So it's corruption that is causing this thing. From the staffs there, yes, I'm holding them accountable. It's corruption. The institute, there is great corruption there. So they should be checked, honestly. Not to blame it on not to blame the outcome of the result on the children, honestly. Oh, mine is, I'm holding them accountable. See, the fraud there. the monies, contributions and all those things, WAEC, contribution fees and all those things. The ones that are unable to contribute, they have found one thing. And what do you expect from them? So it is the board, the staff there, I'm holding accountable. Thank you so much.
All right, then. Thank you. Let's take this call before we go for the break. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is Elders, and I'm coming from MLP.
Okay, please go ahead.
My brother, you see, one thing you must have, somebody was making a good contribution from Onopa. I was listening, then they saw it in the network.
Mm.
My brother, what we needed more, not these external exams. The classroom work is very, very key to child development. You have the teachers that will take on the children. You have the lab, you have the library, the qualified teachers, and the learning environment. These areas are gross lacking in schools. Go to some junior, they have teachers have nowhere to sit down. You supply to the schools, but you don't supply tables and chairs for the teachers to sit on. Even at principal office, are no good place for him to sit down. This is a failure. So what we needed is that the school, that government should build on the classroom work. Make sure that there is continuous assessment. And if a child fails an exam, this mass promotion is another key thing to child underdevelopment in the educational deficiency. Plus, let me tell you WAEC again. Let me come about contention was making about contributions. Let me tell you one thing again. How could we allow schools to run exams? If it is the school that will not take the material, the questions of the base school, take a hire from Saturday job. The question is Ukubie, or question is Olobobri. Question is at Opuruma. Now somebody from Opuruma will come all the way to Opuruma, charter street booths to collect the materials to the schools. What do you expect the schools to do? They will make a way. They will do the contribution. So we have to take the responsibility of the distribution paper to the business center to the various schools to write. As far as I can say that, there must be a contribution. Not only that, let me tell you about the computers. Where is the private from the classwork and the school system is disrupted by the exams. Why take the responsibility of supplying that to the schools? Our contribution, what is the contribution of WAEC actually to the development of education in Bayelsa State? They are not supplying desks, they are not supplying computer shock, they are not supplying anything, but they use it. Then they talk about computer. My brother, you are spoken well. There is no in which Bayelsa State government will take responsibility of somebody's exam. Because the exam belongs to WAEC. WAEC should part the state government to see that this material should be jointly supplied to schools. You cannot allow the state government to supply computer and you can set the exam, collect the money. No, I don't support that. So my brother, I'm going to say that government should be on the classroom work, employ us, train them, and then that we have an improvement education. God bless you this morning.
Thank you very much. Right on time, we'll be going for the short break. Stay tuned.
This is your Golden Moment. 97.5 Golden FM, the gold standard of radio.
Want to grow your business fast? Golden 97.5 FM has got the perfect solution for you. You can locate our radio house at Mike Opopo Street, Bansha, Yenagua, Bayelsa States. Whether it's your business, music, event, or special promo, Golden FM has got you covered. So hurry now and let's put your brand in the spotlight.
From the creeks of Bayelsa to the power play in Abuja.
The whole country is very proud of what this administration has done in the way President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was buried. President Buhari is rather sorry.
Every agency, every organization of government anywhere in the world that has a loan to give, Nigeria is ready to take that loan. They'll tell you it's cheap loan. What we fail to see is what these loans are actually used for.
It's the program that bridges the people and the politics.
For the people of Bayelsa and our sister states of Edo and Delta State, we earnestly call in the creation and distribution of local government areas.
The courts have declared that the legislative and the bodies, be it National Assembly or State Houses of Assembly, they do not have this right to suspend a senator. Wasn't something that was given to her by the Senate or imposed on her by the Senate. It was her people that deemed it fit to vote for her.
Creek to Capital, hosted by Paul and Jacobson, bringing you deep conversations, fresh perspectives, and real political insight. Catch Creek to Capital every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and Saturday at 11 a.m.
The only thing that interests Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is to be president of Nigeria. And I begin to wonder, is it that a doctor prescribed presidency to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar so that if you don't become president, something will happen to you? Because that is the way it is.
Bielsa's Voice, Nigeria's reality.
Bandem is the worst organization anybody can rely on. They took Mr. President to court. People like Chief Saraibe, one of the worst persons you can ever think of.
A token has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly. I will not. I withdraw that statement. In order to, the Senate President has sent prayers to your mailboxes.
Only on Golden FM 97.5.
Only Jesus Can Save International Ministries, also known as Arena of Salvation, off Mountain Road. Only Jesus Can Save Close, New Haven Layout, Agbura, Yenegwa by Yelsa State, presents a 3-day power-packed crusade with a theme, The Set Time for Freedom Has Come for Ebo. That is, Etegwe, Piogbolo, Opolo, and Okutukutu. Psalm 102 verse 13. Ministering Evangelist Atmos Joseph aka JP. Venue, Opolo Primary School Field, Opolo Yenegwa by Yelsa State. Date, 14th to 16th August 2025. Time, 4 p.m. daily. Come and receive the undiluted Word of God. Salvation, healing, deliverance, prophecy, signs and wonders, among others. For more inquiries, call 0806 820 2253, 0813 957 8315, 0806 114 1448. You will be richly blessed as you come, for Jesus is Lord. Host, Evangelist Atmos JP.
Shining brighter than ever. 97.5 FM, the gold standard of radio.
All right, we're back to the final lap of Let's Talk Nigeria. This is a program where we talk the real things and the things that really affect us. Today, you already know, we're looking at the 33.8% drop in the performance of the Nigerian children who took part in the May-June WAEC. The West African Examination Senior School Certificate Examination. The performance was very bad, and we still have Mr. Chinwike Vitus who is an educationist and a school principal. And I even mentioned that the school principal of Bellary Schools. Yes, that's it. Thank you so much. Once again, you've been very brilliant in your analysis. But before we come to you for you to react to some of what the callers have said, let's take the score. We lost that. 0707 747 1522, 0912 000 1975. Text us on 0805 32 77767. And also, we are live on Facebook, so you can watch us, stream it, and drop your messages. We'll read it right away. So let's take this one now. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Moye.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning to the rest in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Yes, my name is Nana. I'm calling from Okata.
Okay, Nana. Please go ahead, Nana.
Thank you very much. For me, I think I will blame it all on societal failure. When I mean societal failure, I mean failure in all ramifications, both from the government and we the masses. Because some years ago, there was a mathematics competition that was sponsored by, I think, Cowbell. That competition had a very, very strong impact in the life of our children. But I stand to be corrected. I don't know if that particular program is still ongoing now. Now, a few minutes ago, during the paper review, you saw that a House of Rep member took taxpayers' money to renovate cemetery. if you should put 10 or 20 million down to your federal constituency, that all the children within all the schools within that particular local government should compete, do you know the impact it will have? It will have a very, very strong impact in the minds of our children. But then, people will not invest in such ventures. Rather, they will invest in reality shows like BB Nigeria. It's not as if I'm casting aspersions here, but I don't really see what such programs at what the value they add to our individual lives. Now, on the part of the parents, you will leave your child of 10, 11 with a smartphone without control. Your television set, you subscribe it without control. You don't control the channels, the remote, nothing, no child's lock. And you expect that these kids will read, they would rather go on TikTok. So I think this is about complete societal breakdown. We need to overhaul our mindset, right from the government to the parents and even to the children. That is my own view this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your insight. Let's take this call before Mr. Ona speaks. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Moyi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Paul Bassa, and good morning to the guests in the studio.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
My name is still left, right, center, Noibu, Bibi Palliative. Chop knuckle, everybody.
Yeah, chop knuckle.
Can we be truthful to ourselves?
Please do.
Yes.
WAEC is talking about 30-something% pass. I want to say this without any apology. If we really want to conduct SSC exam in this country, we will not even get up to 15% pass.
Why do you say so?
We will not even get up. Yes, because now go to whenever they are writing WAEC or NECO, go around the schools and see what happened in schools. Almost all schools are helping their children. They are paying heavy money to do exam malpractice. I want to ask you in this to all of you in this studio, when you have a school, especially the government schools, that you go to school, a student that is supposed to learn 7, 8 subjects a day, you are teaching that children just 2. As far as WAEC is concerned, that children have covered the syllabus, and they will set their exam based on what they have in the syllabus. And that child has not been able to cover even up to 35% of the syllabus, not talk of 50. And you are setting a question for that child to answer. How do you want him to pass that exam? We should be truthful to ourselves, though. I was even laughing when your guest said these days that they are more intelligent. They are not rich us, forget. They are not rich us. 21 years ago, I wrote my SSC. This said to me. I bet
Bibi, we're losing you, Bibi. We're losing your network.
It's only when they know that an external advisor is coming, that's when they will allow me in. And it's even worse these days. When we are talking about 30-something%, I'm even laughing. Because I put it to all of you in that studio. Let's come together, conduct examination with serious supervision. Let's see how many will pass. Our education system.
Okay, Bibi, I think Bibi, your point has been noted, but I think we're losing you as well. Bibi, thank you very much. Thank you. Bibi, we're losing you, but then I think we've got your point very clearly. Let's take this very last call. In 60 seconds, please. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Moye.
All right. And here's the teacher as well, Abby Charles. Abby Charles, make it 60 seconds, please. I beg of you. Sharp.
The malpractice rate is one of the reasons why they fail. I mark WAEC, so I know what I'm saying. The teachers are trying. The malpractice rate, that is the reason why they failed. If they don't stop malpractice, more failure. That's my case.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate you. You are a darling. Now, here we go. Mr. Ona, in your concluding thought, we have said a lot of things. The callers have also said things, different things. But how would you summarize all they have said and what you think is the way forward?
It's okay. Thank you, Mr. Moye. From the first caller, he talked about the priority of the government. Actually, the priority of the government is misplaced. We need to do more for education in terms of investment and all that. Then for the other caller, he talked about the issue of systematic failure and all that. It's on. We don't need to argue about it. What he said is correct. But we are looking at this just released WAEC result. I can tell you categorically what brought down that average performance is English language. You understand? They should be able to understand my point as somebody in the field. It's English language. Because even children who are extremely brilliant, their performance in English language is far below their capacity. And so that is a yardstick to know that this is what actually happened. In recent time, children are trying because of social media. Though social media has influenced them negatively in terms of being lazy and all that, but for those who want to learn, because of various adverts or scholarships and all that in social media, children are studying to beat above 300 in JAMB to make at least 9 A1s. And we have them in various schools. It was not so in the past. So that self-motivation is there. But even with such kind of extraordinary children, they performed low in English language this year.
That's right. I think the point is very clear.
And so we should be able to go with what we are discussing. Generally, Nigerian education system has been very bad. In terms of infrastructure, in terms of quality of teachers. Because the best brains do not go for education now.
That's true. They don't want to be teachers.
And so the passion to teach is not even there.
That's right.
Among some of the teachers.
Yeah, Mr. Ona, we have to drop you there. I know a whole lot of things to say, but the callers have actually taken our time. But then, thank you very much, Mr. Ona, and every one of you who called in, and those who are still calling right now that we can't take your calls.
And also drop messages on Facebook.
Oh, yes, of course. Those who drop the messages on Facebook, we appreciate you. We're streaming live. You can still go after now and, interact. Watch the video, drop your comments, react, and, of course, the conversation continues. Once again, Mr. Chinwike Vitus Ona, the principal of Bellary Schools, who made our time to come explain these things to us. Thank you so much for coming around.
Thank you, sir.
And, of course, I am Moye Steven.
And I am Paul Oblomugbasa.
And we say, please, Let's Talk Nigeria should be the best.